I need to confess something that's been bothering me for months. I've been teaching act as if in manifestation work, and for the longest time, I was doing it completely wrong. But here's the weird part, I was actually doing all the techniques perfectly. I could intellectually explain to anyone how to embody their future self, but I was having trouble manifesting. And so, what I discovered is that acting as if isn't about perfecting techniques or forcing yourself to think positive thoughts, but it's about something much deeper that nobody talks about. And it's the gap between your conscious mind and your nervous system. And once I understood this, everything changed. Everything changed. And I remember this one night, around 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I just got off a call where I'd help someone else through their blocks. And the moment I got off the call, I just broke down, like ugly crying. Because I realized I was teaching something I hadn't fully embodied myself. That is the real imposter syndrome, okay? And if you've been doing everything right in your manifestation practice, but still are hitting an invisible ceiling, I get it. I've been there. And if you understand all the concepts intellectually, or maybe you're visualizing, affirming, doing all the things, but something may still feel off. Like maybe it feels like you're wearing a costume of your future self instead of actually being your future self. Okay? Because over the past 5 years, I've worked with hundreds of clients on manifestation and actually spent thousands of hours in meditation and self-inquiry. And so, what I'm about to share isn't just theory, but it's what finally broke me through after years of struggle and frustration. And so, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the shift that transformed my manifestation practice from an exhausting performance to a natural expression. And this isn't about adding more techniques, but it's about addressing the subtle but critical gap between intellectual understanding and embodied knowing. Now, the first thing, let's talk about what I call the plateau. The plateau is this frustrating place where you understand all the concepts, but still aren't seeing results that you know should be possible. Like maybe you know someone in real life that has a testimonial that this work works, but it's not working for you. Maybe you know how to visualize, you've read all the books, you can recite quotes in your sleep. You are basically the Yoda of manifestation. But looks like your bank account didn't get the memo, or you're still single, whatever it is for you. That is like being the world's best driving instructor who doesn't actually own a car. Okay? You know exactly how to do it, but you're still taking the bus. So, this plateau happens because there's a massive difference between intellectual understanding and embodied knowing. And I was stuck there for years. Oh my God. And it was fucked up because I couldn't figure out what was missing. Oh, by the way, before we begin, if you've read the books, you've joined the programs, maybe you've even hired coaches yourself, you've done all the work but still feels like you're hitting that same invisible ceiling, well, this is for you. I want to tell you that you don't need more hustle, you don't need more forcing, you don't need more effort, more trying. You just need to stop struggling. Because the real breakthrough happens when you rewire your identity and your nervous system. That are the things that run the show. So success, love, health, and abundance can become your default way of being. Because that's exactly what we do in my 8-week one-to-one private mentorship. There are 12-week modules based on the game of life and how to play it to adapt to your life specifically. We also do weekly activations to dismantle those deep-seated limiting beliefs instantly. And better yet, there's ongoing support daily and accountability so you won't fall back into old patterns. And it's a completely tailored path to your fastest and most permanent transformation ever. Because this is the same process that's worked for me and helped clients like Laika, Tanya, and Tucker break those patterns that they'd been stuck with for years. And get into results that you didn't think were possible. Like one of my clients manifested a house. I'll put the screenshot there. Because yes, retreats are beautiful, but if you want real change now, you need an upgrade that sticks longer than those highs that wear off. So if you're ready to stop circling the same problems and step into your next level with confidence, clarity, and power, then there's a link in the description and you'll see exactly how it works and why it's different. And let's see if it's a fit, right? If it is, I'd love to talk with you. And let's start your transformation today. I remember sitting in my apartment one time and I had the perfect morning routine. Like, I still do. Meditation, visualization, journaling. I was doing everything right. But whenever I checked my bank account, nothing had changed. Or I'd have a conversation with someone who triggered me and I'd react from my old self. And it felt like I was living a double life. Manifestation master by morning and then anxious mess by lunch. You know what I mean? Not even a couple of hours. And that brings me to one mistake I was making, which was confusing performing your future self with being your future self. Performance is external. It's about doing the right things, saying the right words, going through the motions. It's like you're putting on a costume and hoping that if you wear it long enough, you will become the character. But true embodiment is internal. It's not about what you do. It's about who you are being at the level of your nervous system. And here's the thing. Our subconscious mind is like that friend who can always tell when you are lying, right? We all have that one friend. The one that gives you that look when you say, I'm fine, but clearly you're not, right? That is your subconscious mind. You can't fool it with affirmations and vision boards, because deep down, your body, if you can't fool it with affirmations and vision boards if deep down your body is operating in survival mode. So when we hit that plateau, why does acting as if work for some people but others don't, but not for others? And the answer lies in understanding how your nervous system processes change. And that's what we're going to explore. So the transformation started when I realized my subconscious mind was still operating in survival mode, despite my conscious elevated state. Okay? Conscious elevated state, subconscious mind, survival mode. So think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to build a beautiful sandcastle at the beach. Your sandcastle is your manifestation. However, you're building the sandcastle, your manifestation, during a hurricane. That means your hurricane is your nervous system in survival mode. No matter how perfect your technique is, the castle isn't going to stand. Okay? So, that is the first one. And if you look at my old videos, you will see how passionate I am. Okay, let's just say that. How passionate I am in nervous system regulation. Because it's hard to create, it's hard to manifest in survival mode. And so give yourself that grace and regulate your nervous system. Because, by the way, your nervous system has one primary job. You know what it is? Let me tell you. It's to keep you alive. And when it perceives threat or scarcity, it doesn't care about your vision board. It's going to prioritize survival over creation every single time. Facts. Now, for me, this showed up as constant background anxiety. Even when I would be visualizing abundance, my body was tight. Like my breathing was shallow, my jaw was clenched, and I was literally trying to manifest from a stressful state. Now, the science behind this is wild, because when we are in survival mode, blood literally flows away from our prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain responsible for creativity, possibility, and thinking, and future planning. And then it goes into our limbic system and to our extremities so we can literally run, fight, or hide. Now write this down. You can't think your way out of it. Positive thinking is not going to shift your state of being. Which led me to the transformational shift from moving from your future-focused manifestation to present moment embodiment. Now, most manifestation techniques focus on the future, visualizing what you want to create, affirming what you will have, okay? Mentally rehearsing what you'll experience. But here's the thing. Manifestation isn't about the future at all. It's about your state of being right now. Moment to moment. So your point of power isn't some imagined future, but it's in the present moment. This is where your nervous system lives, in the present moment. This is where embodiment happens. And when I shifted my focus from how can I become my future self to how can I feel safe, confident, regulated, and abundant right now, everything changed. And I remember this moment that this hit me. Yeah, I was doing my normal morning meditation, trying to feel abundant and successful, but I noticed my shoulders were up to my ears. My breathing was shallow, and there was like a knot in my stomach, in my third center. But instead of pushing through it this time, like I usually would, I put my hands on my heart and asked my body, like, what do you need right now to feel safe? And I just sat there breathing, allowing, softening up whatever sensations were present, right? No forcing, no fixing, no bypassing or shoving it down. Just breathing, relaxing, just being with what was real in that moment. And after about 10 minutes, I felt this wave of relaxation move through my body. My breathing deepened, my shoulders dropped, and I experienced this profound sense of okayness. Not because anything had changed externally, but because my nervous system had shifted from survival to safety. And in that state of safety, abundance didn't feel like a future goal anymore, but it felt like the present reality. I wasn't trying to be abundant. I was abundant because I was fully present and at ease in my body. But this raises an important question. If present moment embodiment is so powerful, why do we resist it? Why do we keep chasing future states instead of dropping into the now? Well, this brings us to the point that maintaining the frequency matters more than the visualization or your mental rehearsal or your vision board, whatever. Most of us approach manifestation like we're placing an order at a drive-thru, right? I'll have one successful business, $2 million, and a beach house, please. Now, we think if we can visualize it clearly enough, it's just going to show up. Come on. But the universe doesn't respond to our thoughts. It responds to our frequency. And your frequency isn't determined by what you think about for 20 minutes during a meditation or a mental rehearsal, but it's determined by your constant state of being throughout the day. Your most predominant emotion, right? This is why you can do the perfect visualizations and still not see results. Because if you spend 20 minutes visualizing abundance, but the rest of the 23 and 30 minutes of the day, you're in a state of stress, you are worrying about things, you're struggling, guess what frequency you're broadcasting? Or like one of my clients, Mena, she experienced this firsthand. She came to me after years of doing manifestation work without seeing results, and she told me, look, I've done breath work, meditation, manifestation techniques, 369 methods, but nothing seemed to stick. After working together on her nervous system only and present moment embodiment, she messaged me. And it was a funny message. She was like, the queen is back. And I do activations with them. And she's like, since our session, my husband is more affectionate. My fatigue is improving. I feel more energized. And I'm doing things while I feel expansive and happy. What a cool state to be in, right? But the difference wasn't that she learned new techniques. The difference was that she learned how to shift her nervous system from survival to safety, allowing her to maintain an elevated frequency, listen carefully, throughout her day without much effort. Now, the fourth insight was learning to recognize and release the subconscious resistance that was blocking my manifestation. Now, okay, this is a big one about resistance. Resistance doesn't show up with a big sign saying, I don't believe I deserve abundance, right? But it's more subtle. It shows up as tension in your body, as procrastination, or that voice that says, just do it tomorrow, right? The impulse to check your phone when you are anxious or you want to get rid of a feeling. For me, it showed up as perfectionism. Like I was constantly tweaking my manifestation practice, thinking I just need to find this perfect technique and everything is going to click, right? But this perfectionism was actually a form of control. Like not a form, like a big control. And control, the ego loves control. The ego tries to create, like, when your nervous system tries to create safety, your ego feels threatened, okay? And so the transformation came when I realized resistance isn't something we fight or need to overcome, but listen, it's a messenger telling you when your nervous system still feels unsafe. And I had this funny moment when I was doing a visualization. I was trying to imagine money raining and my body was absorbing it. But I kept getting distracted by this thought about whether I'd remember to pay my phone bill. And at first, I was annoyed. I was like, come on, Kev. You're creating your future. Don't think about your phone bill. But then I realized my nervous system was trying to tell me something. It was like, hey, we don't feel safe about money right now. There's something basic that's not being met. And instead of pushing like I would normally do, I was like, oh. And then I paused the meditation, checked my bank account, paid the bill, and resumed meditating and visualizing. Then suddenly, the meditation became more effortless because my nervous system felt safe. That is like trying to convince yourself that you are a great swimmer while you're drowning. Like, maybe handle the drowning situation first, okay? All right, now listen carefully to this. Because this is probably the most counterintuitive aspect of manifestation. And it's something that I love to teach and do. Surrender. This topic gets me so aroused, so pay attention. How can letting go of acting as if actually lead to true embodiment? And what does that even mean for your manifestation practice? Well, let's see. You see, most manifestation teachings make it about effort, action, visualize harder, visualize more vividly, affirm more, affirm louder. Now affirm on one leg, now affirm while you're on the moon. That is like trying to grow a plant by pulling on it, right? So much effort. But true embodiment happens through surrender, not effort. It's about releasing the need to be someone else and instead allow yourself to be who you already are beneath all the conditioning, the interference, the stories, lies that we believed about ourselves, survival patterns. Now listen carefully. Surrender is not passive. It's active. It's allowing. It's creating the conditions for your natural state of abundance to emerge rather than trying to force it into existence. Which brings us to the sixth key of transformation, that your nervous system must feel safe before your subconscious mind will accept any programming. Think of your nervous system as like a bouncer at a club. If it doesn't feel safe, it's not letting in any new ideas, no matter how well dressed they are or how much they promise to behave. Safety isn't just the absence of threat, but it's the presence of connection, regulation, resource. It's your body knowing, not just your mind thinking that you're okay. And for me, creating safety meant developing a relationship with my nervous system, my body, instead of trying to override it or overpower it. And it meant learning to recognize the signs of dysregulation, right? Tension, contraction, shallow breathing, racing thoughts. That's a prevalent one for me, racing thoughts. And then respond with compassion instead of pushing through it. And look, you're probably thinking like, cool story, bro. How do I do this? Well, if you got this far, then, oh, come on. I'm your biggest fan. I love you. Now, write this down. First, start tracking your nervous system state several times throughout the day. Like, pause and notice. How's my nervous system? Am I breathing shallow? Is it deep? How are my shoulders? Am I tensed? This awareness alone begins to shift your relationship with your body. It's like, oh my God, you care for me? Duh, it's your body. Second, practice regulation before manifestation. Before you even meditate or even do a technique, spend 5 to 10 minutes regulating your nervous system. Deep breathing or place your hand in your heart and create safety first. Then create from that safety. Okay? Third, shift from future to present. Instead of asking, how can I become my future self? Ask, how can I embody the qualities of my future self right now? If your future self is abundant, how can you feel abundant today, even if in small ways? Here, let me give you one. Being grateful for what you have. When I integrated these shifts, my manifestation practice transformed from something I would do with so much effort, struggle, to a natural expression. I stopped trying so hard to become someone else and instead allowed myself to be who I already was beneath the conditioning. And here's the crazy shit. The external manifestations I'd been trying to create started showing up effortlessly. Not because I was visualizing them better, but because I was no longer blocking them with my nervous system's resistance. The business opportunities, the money, the relationships, man, just like the best one is just like cultivating much more deeper relationship with my parents and my loved ones. They are available to you. They are always available to you. And I just couldn't access them while I was in survival mode. Like I honestly had an intention of, I had an intention of my business building itself. And oh my God, a very great man reached out to me and offered to be my partner. So now all I have to do is create content and help my clients. Sweet deal, right? That's why I can pump out one video a day. I didn't seek him. He came to me. But anyway, let's bring this full circle. First, recognize the plateau when intellectual understanding doesn't translate to results, okay? And then understand the difference between performing your future self and being your future self. And then discovering how survival mode blocks manifestation at nervous system level. Then shifting your future focus manifestation to present moment embodiment. Next, realizing that frequency matters more than visualization and your vision board. And then learning to recognize and release subconscious resistance. Embrace the paradox of surrender. And then create nervous system safety before attempting new programming for your subconscious mind. And what I ultimately discovered is that you don't need to become your future self. Okay? You need to uncover who you already are beneath the conditioning and survival patterns. True manifestation isn't about adding something new, but it's about removing the blocks of your natural state of abundance. Link in the description if you want my help in all this, but I believe in you.